and she was asking me about, I think it was with you after drama, how depending on what race you are, you can say like certain words.
Oh, when she was like asking, do black people get offended when white
Yes.
people say nigger?
Yes.
Oh yes, I remember that.
I know, like, hey, it's a really complicated thing, because I mean, I feel like a black person can say to a black person, what's up, nigga, but then like as soon as a white person says it, like everyone's like, what are you doing, kind of thing.
My thing is, I feel like it depends on the person's intentions. So if obviously, if they're saying it in an offensive way, then I think I'd be like, okay, hold up. But it's not because they're white. It's because of what they're trying to get across. It's not necessarily because of the word or what race they are.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the same time, if like any white friend of yours, whether it's like an acquaintance or a best friend, came like and said to you, what's up, my nigga? And if it wasn't from a malicious way, it was more from like a happy, attitude. I think like either way, we'd still be, I wouldn't lie, I'd still be uncomfortable, because I'd be like, it's just that trigger in your brain that's like, oh no, that's such a bad word, and I feel like now at this time, considering all the other problems and all the other big problems that are happening in the world, that's such a minuscule thing that you can prevent.
You strip down the association, which is probably not even easy, because for some people that word carries a lot of emotion, a lot of history, and a lot of meaning to them. And sometimes trying to strip down that amount of emotion and meaning and kind of make it a common term for all races is not the easiest thing for some people. You see what I'm saying?
You know what I think though? A lot of the time I think that people kind of make other people's struggles their own, in the sense that people from like our age would get offended if a white person, whether it was to be offensive or not, our age would be like, why are you saying this? Like, what's that got to do with you? Yes, your parents, maybe at a young age, maybe your grandparents, definitely fine, but no one's ever said that to you. Like, you have no, I feel like that at our age, we don't really have a reason to be kind of offended by it, because it hasn't done anything wrong to us. We just know what it's been used for. Yes, it's wrong. Yes, we understand that. Yes, it's affected our family in the past. But I mean, us as people at this age, we don't have a bad history with the word. It's just a word, and I think it's just we're conditioned into thinking to think about it because of what our parents went through and what society in general just say about what people can call each other.
And it's not even a South African word, it's American.
It is.
Dude, I think it originates from Latin America, Negro, the color. The color.
I think at the end of the day, like, it's a word, just like any other word. And I think that we are the ones who determine, like, whether it's a negative word or whether it's a positive word. Like when I was watching the show, when I was watching Trevor Noah.
There we go. All right, go on.
That's when I realized that we can make it a good word if we want to. Like, the way that the things that we associate it with and how we react to it determines whether people are allowed to say it or not. But in this day and age, I think that it shouldn't be like as offensive as it might have been back then.
It shouldn't be like a big problem that people...
Exactly.
Like, I know, like, because like Kago said, we're conditioned to feel uncomfortable. So maybe when someone first says it, like, the first thing that you'll think is, oh my god, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like getting out of that condition, but at the same time, it's the way you take it. And it's something that's so small because it's the way you receive it. If you're the one who decides to be angry about it, then that's just you.
Yeah.
But like, what I want to know is, in that show, Trevor Noah was busy saying, we can all take it and make it something positive. That specific word that he was talking about. We can make it like totally positive, turn it all around, which is great. But how do you condition like a whole nation and the generations that were affected, like not singular, plural, the generations that were affected by that situation and by that word? How do you take that and how do you start kind of moving forward from that? Because I feel, like Trevor Noah's idea, right? He was busy saying like, oh my gosh, we can make a whole day out of it, we can like, everyone can just call each other that and it would be an affectionate thing, that would be awesome and everything, which is great. But I mean, again, not everyone would agree with that. So obviously, I think at the end of this, everyone wants to kind of get to a place where that word just doesn't affect people anymore. It's just like another word that we know. So how do you move to that from where we are now?
And I think it's like, first of all, I think that like Trevor Noah, it's like he's a comedian. So what he's saying is not like a proper solution, but it's an idea that's coming from a funny place, right? So, but I think even with like moving forward with it, it's compared to like all the other things that are happening in the world right now, the Fees Must Fall, the Black Lives Matter, everything. It's just one of those small things that contribute to that. So how do you move forward? And I think that like how do you move forward is like you start in small, like with schools. You start small with schools, getting people to learn about each other cultures, because we all have to coexist as humans, right? So how would you like? People say racism is taught. So then how would how would there be racism if you have like Martin Luther King, more pages of Martin Luther King than, or the equal amount of pages of Martin Luther King compared to someone like Cecil John Rose? You know what I'm saying? It should be equal with all different cultures, because that's how you learn to accept each other.